Okay. Okay. Hi, my name is Steven Vera, and just a quick raise of hands, how many people have a social media account? Okay, so pretty much everyone here. Out of the raised hands, how many of you have how many of you have tweeted, made a Facebook post, or Snapchatted in the last 10 minutes? Raise your hand. Be honest. Okay. So our generation grew up with social media. We started off with MySpace, we got Facebook, and now we use Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, Tumblr, Pinterest, just to name a few. Social media has made us more connected, but there's an underlying problem, and that is that social media has a negative effect on how a child's brain develops. My three main supporting claims are that social media has a negative effect on a child's attention span, social media has a negative effect on a child's literacy, and social media has a negative effect on a child's mental development. So my first claim is that Dr. Shannon M. Roch states that one of the main reasons we use social media is for self-distraction and boredom relief. The Statistic Brain Research Institute reports that the average attention span in 2000 was 12 seconds. In 2015, the average dropped to 8.25 seconds. So to put that into perspective, a goldfish has an attention span of 9 seconds. Our generation today has a lower attention span than a goldfish. WeAreSocial.net reported that there are over 2 billion active social media accounts. Just to name an example, Facebook started off with 1 million back in 2004. They have now grown to over 1.4 billion users. This exponential growth of this social media giant ties directly into the shortening of our attention spans over the past decade and a half. USA Today, Fox News, just to name a few, shorten their stories so we can quickly digest it. Even social media outlets like CNN rely on pretty faces for their news anchors so that we keep our attention, reports Forbes.com. This leads to a shorter conversation and a loss of conversation, or a loss of focus in a conversation. This enforces bad habits, so like next time you go out with your friends, count how many times they take out their phone to check Facebook, Snapchat their friends, or Instagram their food, because we do that a lot. Shortening of attention spans resulting from quick interactions will be detrimental to the focusing of harder problems, argued Alvaro Retena, a technologist at HP. We will probably see a stagnation in many areas, technology, and even social venues such as literature, which leads me to my next point. Social media has a negative effect on a child's literacy. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have Twitter, but in case you don't, Twitter limits the number of characters you use to 140. So once you type 140 characters, you're not allowed to type anymore. So we are now in the habit of shortening our stories and leaving out important details because of this shortening and limitation of characters. On top of that, we use abbreviations and shortening of words. So like BRB, be right back. We use the letter K to type out OK because we're too lazy. DM, FYI, LOL. We all use these because of the limitations that Twitter has put on us. We use these words throughout our day-to-day lives because they're convenient, they're easy to use, and it's just comfortable for us because we're so used to using them in social media. My third support claim is that social media has a negative effect on a child's mental development. So first off, social media has no accountability. Anybody can make a social media account, put a name, whatever your name wants to be, Bob. Anybody can find the image on Google, put it as their profile picture. So there really is no accountability on social media. This could lead to cyberbullying because people feel safer behind a screen and they feel like they can say whatever they want without any repercussions. DoSomething.org reported that nearly 43% of kids have been bullied online. 1 in 4 of them have been bullied more than once. This lowered self-esteem may even lead to committing suicide. DoSomething.com also reported that bullying victims are 2 to 9 times more likely to commit suicide. Low self-esteem doesn't only affect a child's confidence now, but also later in the future. So later on when they're trying to land a job by getting an interview, they don't have the confidence to do the interview, and that could lead to negative consequences in the future. So to restate my claims, social media has a negative effect on a child's attention span. It hinders their literacy, and it also lowers their self-esteem. And all these support my main claim that social media has a negative effect on a child's mental development or brain development. Thank you.
All right, Stephen, the proposition's clear. There's an excellent preview of what the supporting structure is going to be. When you get to the structure itself, you signpost each point as you get there. I thought you had a really nice transition from the first to the second point. The movement to the third point was a little bit more abrupt, not quite as smooth. I thought the information on the first point was nicely developed, although I do think you need some source citations on a couple of things, like the attention span changes that you're talking about and what that's based on. And also, I think you need to develop a little bit more what the negative consequences of short attention spans are. On the second point, there's really not much there except the hypothetical examples of people using acronyms and shortened versions of words, and I'm wondering what's bad about that, why that's a problem, and I don't really see information that suggests that this is becoming widespread or hear any authorities who suggest that there is a problem as a consequence. So I thought that the second point was underdeveloped. The third point is mostly based on bullying, and some of your information is not specific to cyberbullying, so you got to be careful about conflating the two things. I thought you did a nice job presenting it. You were very effective speaking to the audience for the most part, and there's a good solid summary and exit line at the end. Thank you. Come on, really?